Good morning, everybody, from Coca-Cola Super Speedway, and welcome here to our playoff race number 6, second elimination race for the WRA Oreo Cup Series for 2025. Before we find out who will be the 4 drivers eliminated from the playoffs, we're going to first find out who will be the 6 drivers that will race their way into today's race via the Go or Go Home session. We're at our next to last race as far as the super speedways are concerned. This is Coca-Cola Super Speedway. This is a 3-mile super speedway restrictor plate track, kind of like Daytona and Talladega. We have our first car out on track. That's Lizette Armstrong. Lizette has been in this 53 ride, replacing Daniel Voiles for the rest of the season. She's only made 3 starts. Daniel Voiles has only made 4. That means the 53 has only made 7 starts this season. This will be her first time lap. It is time to find out, like I said, who will be the 4 drivers eliminated. But also see what kind of drafting methods we will see in this Go or Go Home. As Lizette Armstrong going by Kyle Langland. It is nice and sunny here this morning. And the first lap time is a 46.781. For the 53 Ford Mustang Dark Horse, Leo Hill beat it. That's because Leo Hill must have gotten a draft off of somebody. And of course, Lizette Armstrong still trying to find a drafting partner. Let's go to Leo Hill. There he is. As he's drafting off of, I think that's Tatum Wright in the 28. Yes, it is. The 53 was all by her lonesome, didn't get a drafting partner, but she will definitely get one eventually. Donovan Dixon, the early fastest in the session, 46. Well, as soon as I say that, Leo Hill goes the quickest, 46.140. Now Donovan Dixon on the bubble, but he's going to be reeled in by Cheyenne Berkshire, Skylar Davidson. That's Desiree Voiles in the 61. And Brenda Ealing, this week's driver, in the 33. $45,393 for Desiree Voiles. Morgan Le Fay just nailed a 44.681. That's a wonderful lap. And so did Crystal Fontaine, 44.696. Now a 44.542 for Morgan Le Fay. Brianna Knight, 44.549. Sam Davis, a 5.88. Great laps for those drivers. And they're in this little pack right here, believe it or not. Morgan Le Fay is actually the caboose of this 4-car pack. That's why they're getting the most speed off of it. And that might come into play this afternoon when we have our elimination race. Has incredible times. Lita Perez 682. That puts her on the bubble. Ashley Reynolds a 44.357. A very good lap for the Valvoline Toyota Camry SXE. Could she go even quicker? Right in front of her is Betty Johnson, this week's driver of the 50. Annie Thomas will be in the car at Watkins Glen next week. Reynolds ran a little slower, but a 3.57. That's a blistering lap for the 64. Asia Racing now on the bubble. $44.780 for Kelsey Higdon. Puts her 16th quickest. Of course, she is in this pack right here. This is where the most speed's been, is in this pack right here. As we're nearing the midway point of this qualifying session, the Go Home qualifying session. Kayla Rankin a 45.839. She's going to definitely need to pick it up. That's pretty good lap times for Sam Davis as he's losing the lead pack right here. As things stand for Sam Davis driving for Key Motorsports, as we're going to take an onboard lap with him. Went a little slower there, so we're going to take a lap around Coca-Cola. Into turn 1, turn 2, down the back straightaway. We're running nearly like IndyCar speeds. You see, he never even lifted with the 40 car moving up the racetrack. Keeping his foot flat on the floor, going through 3 and 4, 232. Ran a little slower there. That's, by the way, a lap around Coca-Cola. Olympia Brightly still looking for some speed. Kaylee Rankin, 9th quickest. All those drivers in the 45s need to find some speed or find a drafting partner to improve their speed. Olympia Brightly, a 5.42, pushes Geisha Racing out of the Fast 6 for the time being, 44.542. At 64. That's a hard lap time to be at a 44.357. And don't know if anybody's going to beat a 44.357. It was a nice lap time for Ashley Reynolds in the 64. Eric Monaco's in this pack, 18th quickest, needs to find some speed. He is in that draft, however, he just doesn't have any speed. And all these drivers from 31st on down, they need to find some speed. There's Kelsey Higdon back out on the track. Leah Perez, Remy Crampton, Ari Springer in the 49 this week. There's Crystal Fontaine. Kyle England still looking for some speed. Fontaine, as of right now, would be in this week's race. Leo Hill, a 44.608, still need to find some speed. Isaac Willis is looking for speed. Same with Sam Tenley. Dana Monroe, Kevin Joseph. Next week will be his final start in the 35 for Red Dragon Racing. Lizette Armstrong on pit road. It's a shame we've only had Lizette in a couple of races. Same with Dana Monroe, so... As who was that they just went by? That was Sam Davis, who was just getting back out on the track. Morgan Le Fay still second quickest. Brianna Knight is on the bubble as Olympia Brightly peels for the pit lane. Asia Racing 44.564. That's not enough. Needs to find 1500s or at least 200s to even make the show. Brianna Knight. Ashley Reynolds heading for the pit lane. I think that's going to be her session done. But it looks like Ashley Reynolds will make this week's race here at Coca-Cola. Oh, we got a wreck. Kyle Langland's wrecked. What happened to Kyle? Oh, Crystal Fontaine got a piece of it. Oh, it's because of Isaac Willis had troubles. He had mechanical problem. Yeah, look at the closing speed. Isaac Willis caused an incident. And looks like Fontaine has continued on. The question is that going to be a backup car? And Kyle England's not going to have time to get his backup car out. I think that's his session done. The big question for Crystal Fontaine, how much damage did she have on that 08? Because it didn't look like she got a lot. And if she makes the show, she will might get that damage repaired. But what a shame for Kyle Langland. And Kyle was 32nd quickest, so he will definitely not make this week's race here at Coca-Cola. That's a tough break for Kyle. That's the session right there. No improvements. I don't think anybody else is going to improve. The only one who came close was the 55 of Monica Towns, but it doesn't look like it's going to make her in the show. And I think that's it. That's it for qualifying. So the 6 drivers who will race their way into this week's race here at Coca-Cola's, I'm waiting for the official to shut up so I don't have to hear him say drivers to their cars, which they're already in their cars. Ashley Reynolds, Morgan Le Fay, Sam Davis, Olympia Brightly, Crystal Fontaine, and Brianna Knight will all make this week's race here at Coca-Cola. Unfortunately, the drivers who will not make the show and have failed to qualify are Monica Towns, Gage Racing, Carmen Alejandro, Brenda Eveling, Cheyenne Berkshire. Ignore the police sirens in the background as I'm recording this. Kaylee Rankin, Tatum Wright, Ari Springer, Leo Hill, Remy Crampton, Donovan Dixon, Desiree Voiles, Alita Torres, Eric Monaco, Skylar Davidson, Yuki Yamamoto, Amy Pruitt, Julian Black, Danny Rant this week in the 62, Ingrid Pollard, who failed to qualify, Jessica Sheldon, Kelsey Higdon, Ashlyn Wright, Gene Evans, Betty Johnson, Kyle Langland, Lizette Armstrong, Isaac Willis, Sam Tinley, Dana Monroe, and Kevin Joseph have all failed to qualify for this week's race and will have to try again next week at Watkins Glen. So that's it from qualifying. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the World Racing Association crew today. We'll see you back here for our elimination race at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time as our race weekend at Coca-Cola continues on the Blue Hedgehog TV, the greatest racing since 2013.